Just get centered on your mat. Stand facing forward with your palms splayed out. Start to reach up overhead, inhaling and exhaling, bending those knees, just sweeping the arms up overhead and back down, getting warmed up. And dive down. You can keep the knees bent here, just let the head go. Maybe grab hold of either elbow and just sway back and forth. Come up to flat back. Exhale, plant the hands and step back into your plank position. And just start lifting alternate legs, pointing those toes. Just lifting the leg up to hip height and back down. Keeping your core strong and stable and pressing into those palms. And just shifting forward and back on your toes. Feeling a nice stretch in the calves and the ankles. And start dipping those hips right and left. Just a few inches down and arcing in the middle like a rainbow. And bending those elbows, lifting into your upward dog and back into your downward dog. Pedal out the feet here, do whatever feels good. Deep inhale and exhale, shifting those hips back, feeling a nice stretch in the hamstrings. And coming up on the toes, just step forward to the front of your mat. Maybe stretch over, looking over your right side, opening up the arms. And bending that right leg, stretching over, looking over your left shoulder. And back to center, come up to flat back. And exhale, stepping back into your plank position. And this time we're gonna step those feet out, arcing in a rainbow position, alternating right and left legs. Just tapping lightly with that toe on the ground, just outside the mat. Staying strong and stable throughout the rest of your body. And then just start piking and coming back into plank. So lifting those hips up into downward dog and back into plank. Feel a nice undulating motion in the spine. Getting the back warmed up. And then coming onto all fours. Start motioning in your cat-cow. Lifting the chest and really arching through that spine as you exhale. Coming back to center, step that right foot out and just start lifting and lowering that left knee. Trying to pull it into your chest so you're really feeling that core turn on. Up and down. And then stepping out with that left leg, lifting up and down with that right bent knee. Just trying to pulse it into your chest. Good. Come back into your all fours and start lifting your right leg and left arm. Just bringing knee to touch elbow. Again, feeling that core contraction turning on, really heating up in the center. Stretching out and bringing back into center to tap. Still with that right leg and left arm. And hold here at the top. Float leg and arm down. And we'll move over to the other side. Left leg, right arm reaching out and tapping close into center. Moving fast here, getting warmed up. Try to keep those hips pointing down in a squared position to the ground, and back of the neck stays long. Hold at the top and float back down. And now we're just going to lift and lower that right leg, trying to keep a 90-degree bend in that knee and a strong flex in the ankle. Just lifting up to hip height and pulsing at the top. And the other leg up and down. Good. Feeling those hips stay squared. Flexing the foot and pulse at the top. Good. And then just lift and lower those knees off the ground, just hovering a couple of inches. Hold here. Good, and back to downward dog, stretch it out. Take a deep breath, maybe exhale through the mouth. Lifting up that right leg, open up the hips and feel a nice stretch through the hip flexor. Sweep that leg forward and step up into your high lunge. Lift the arms up and just start bending that back knee as you bring the elbows down towards your waist. So dynamic movement here, moving the back leg, the front leg, and the elbows. Now hold at the top and just pull down the elbows like you're pulling down on a lap machine. So really feeling those side ribs and the shoulders pulling down together. And switching out, moving through your vinyasa, back to downward dog. Reset here for a moment. And lifting up that left leg, opening up the hips, bending the leg, feeling a nice stretch as you sweep that leg through, lifting up into your high lunge. Bend that back leg and pull the elbows down towards your ribs as you lunge. Try to feel that tailbone reaching down towards the ground. And now, resting at the top, just pull the arms down, really squeezing that space between the shoulder blades. Neck is long. And plant the hands, moving back through to your plank, upward dog, and back to downward dog. Good. And just breathing here. And just rest those knees down, take a child's pose. Feel the forehead planting into the ground. Maybe reach those fingertips over to the right side of your mat and back over to the left, breathing into those side ribs. And back to center, roll your way up. Inhale, arms up overhead, and just stretching over to the right side and the left, just gently grabbing hold of the wrists, stretching out through the center, and interlacing the fingers behind your back, stretching out the chest. Lifting and lowering those wrists and arms, really stretching out through the front of the chest. Good. Arms up overhead, back through center. We're going to come seated with our legs stretched out in front of us. Arms reaching out in front and just roll back down slowly and rolling back up, articulating throughout the spine and really pulling that navel in. Try not to use your neck here, just really feel those stomach muscles working. So neck and upper body stays neutral, and make this last one the slowest one, and all the way down. Windshield wiper those legs, side to side, back to center, heels close into the seat, and just slowly start articulating that spine all the way up into your bridge position, and back all the way down, vertebrae by vertebrae, lifting all the way up, feeling those glute muscles, pressing into the heels. Lifting the hips up, and then just start pulsing up and down, so bringing those hips halfway down and lifting all the way back up. Think of your hip points reaching up into the sky, knees reaching away from you, and upper body stays soft. If you'd like, you can bring your arms up towards the sky for an extra challenge. Still pulsing here. Maybe your arms start to reach back overhead and back up to center. Almost done here. Doing great. Good, and hold it at the top. Just little pulses. See if you can reach even higher with those arms reaching up. Tiny little pulses with the hips. And then start reaching those legs and arms out and back into center. Just a few inches out and back in. Arms and legs moving in tandem. Good. Back to center and hold. And slowly come all the way back down, reaching those arms down. And reaching that right ankle over the left knee. Just pull those legs in. And stretch it out. And switching over to the other side. Stretching it out. Rocking side to side. And bring those legs into center. Rocking over to the left side, taking a little twist. Back to center. And letting the knees fall over to your right side, looking over the left shoulder. Coming back to center. Just rock and roll on your spine. All the way up to seated. Coming back into one more plank, back to downward dog. Do a few more pikes. And come up on the toes. Step forward to the front of your mat, let the head hang. And ever so slowly roll all the way up to standing. Reach arms up overhead. And thank yourself for your practice.